have a very special guest for you today. I call on stage Joseph Salesky. Now, for those of you who don't know Joe, so Joe is, of course, from the heart of the valley. He's one of the fellow disruptor, has more patents than I have. But what's really key about Joe is that he sold his last company for more than 200 million, Joe. And now he's hanging his boot and he's just having fun, but he's a disruptor, so can't keep away from the game. He and your last technology and all these mobile payments that you were disrupting in US, what, 9 out of top 12 banks were using?
9 out of the top 12 US banks, 40 of the largest global banks.
And that's almost what, like 30–40% of the payments that were happening in the system.
About 35% of all payments.
Awesome. So Joe, now we kind of talked about this whole vision of our future. Is that the vision that you have for future? I mean, what is it and how do you see this? I mean, given the other side of Atlantic, how does it look?
It's very interesting, Nishant, because when you talk about CRMNEXT, you can't go without talking about what is banking next. And I think that what banking next is being set by the expectations of customers in other experiences they have. The transformation that Amazon has created, the anywhere store, right? So really you think of Amazon, and do you think of high service? I can get anything, it knows me. A prime relationship means I can buy any product and have it delivered in a very short period of time. So you really have to think of Bank of Amazon being a bank where I can get what I want at any time. It's always available, it's always on, and it's really an instantaneous ability for me to self-serve on any product. So Bank of Amazon on the one end, and I think what you're really also seeing is Bank of Service on the other end. And Bank of Service is much more like shopping at Louis Vuitton, where you've got knowledgeable people that are helping you in your customer journey. And really what has been missing in banking is really reuse in the customer-facing side. If you really think about it, our e-commerce in banking is over here. Our CRM in banking is over here. There's no reuse between those systems, and quite frankly, because we've been product siloed, there's been almost no reuse even across CRM systems. So I think what you're talking about in CRMNEXT is really the foundation that sits underneath banking next.
True. And Joe, this is actually your first time you've had a look at 2016. We've never cheated, we never showed you, right? And what do you think about it? Is it impressive? I mean, do you like the kind of innovations you see? Is that really?
I'm really excited because I think this is one of the examples where India is going to be providing a platform to the world. And I think you have a lot to be excited about because the banks here have helped you develop not just great relationships and great appreciation for their customers, but great service. And I think what's been missing, and you talked about it several times, is to kick down the barriers between systems, kick down the barriers between process and people, and really facilitate. We've all been talking about an information bus, right, which gives us more access to data and glues together our systems. But I think what you really have here that has me excited for you and excited for the team is that you really have an innovation bus that allows reuse of every widget that you've created to enhance the customer experience and get them to the outcomes they want as frictionlessly as possible, but also supports that great level of service that allows you to deepen the customer relationship in the concierge model, where you're able to deliver more service. And quite frankly, I think you're going to release a lot of resources within the bank that have been cogs in the process and bring those to being great service associates, like most of us think of the Apple Store, where they're really facilitating my customer journey, anticipating my needs, and delivering greater value.
True. Thank you so much, Joe. And of course, Joe is available. If anybody wants to talk, please feel free to have a chat with him during your conversations and your dinner. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think to me, this release is really about the tools and the empowerment that we really wanted to give you to allow you to think freely about changes that you want to make. And to us, disruption has really been about freedom. And I think before we took this message to you, we applied it on ourselves. This is the first time that we completely, fundamentally rewrote our platform in less than 18 months. So this is the first disruption we did for ourselves before we went to preach them. And we promise you that this has been so exciting for us that we'll come back to you again next year with something as phenomenal as we've come to you this year, because I think now we're addicted to this cycle of innovation. There is experience booths at the end of it. Please feel free to walk in, have a look at what we're saying. There are people who will help you quiz the question, and of course we'll come back to you on how you can get this and access this. Your account managers will take it. So thank you so much.